welcome to 11 o'clock news team. Today I was talking to you about a company that lied their way to the top, lost thousands of employees on a downward spiral, but started new standard regulations and laws for companies after them. Enron and Arthur Anderson, according to Steve Paulson from World Socialist website, and the largest corporate bankruptcy in America in history, Enron filed for bankruptcy protection. December 2nd, only a few weeks after admitting that it had overstated earnings by more than 586 million in 1997. In simple words, they could basically write off any of their losses without hurting the company. For example, they would build a company like an asset, such as a power plant, and immediately claim the projected profit on the books, even though they didn't make a dime off of it. Now that I have summarized Enron Arthur Anderson downfall, I'm going to turn it over to my classmates to discuss the impact on the scandal itself. Michelle, can you tell me how many employees lost their jobs from the Enron and Arthur Anderson scandal?
Yes. After the scandal, Enron lost about 4,000 of their headquarters workers in Texas, and outside of their headquarters in Texas, they lost over 20,000 employees. With Arthur Anderson, the company lost over 85,000 employees across the nation.
After the employees lost their jobs, how did their employees' stock investments affect their retirement payouts?
Their retirement payouts were affected because of Enron's policy. Their policy stated that employees who invested into their 401k into the company this left them with stock shares that dropped from under $90 to about under $1.
Michelle, after the employees lost their jobs, how did their employees' stock investments affect their retirement payouts?
According to Enron's policy for their employees who invested their 401k into the company's stock, it left them with stock shares that dropped from around $90 per share to under about $1 per share. This policy itself did not permit the sales of stocks, and when they saw that things were going wrong, they were forced to wait to
Daniel, was there any government reaction to the Enron Arthur Anderson scandal?
Yes, the Senate organized a committee for banking, strictly banking and financial services. They made the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, or the SOX Act, that pretty much put into legislation that auditing standards for all auditing and businesses submitting those financial reports. Executives had to sign the financial reports, bottom line them, say they were correct, up to date, nothing was in error. And then, in fact, if those documents that they had signed that were wrong, they would actually have legal action against them. Entities that were involved with your business must be disclosed. For instance, like with Enron, what they did was they took entities that were around them but didn't reflect on their books, put all their debt into there. Now you have to disclose any entities and pretty much all your numbers that are going out and coming in. This legislation led to WorldCom and Xerox having similar problems along with what Enron had.
Ramon, what did the scandal have an impact on the GDP?
GDP was unbelievably affected by the Enron bankruptcy. It was estimated that 35 billion, 3.4% off of the gross domestic product in the first year. Now to think that just one company bankruptcy affected the overall output, the nation on such a large scale, demonstrates how big of a deal, of a scandal this truly was.
What happened to the employees of Enron? Daniel.
Well, a lot of the employees or individuals that worked for Enron, from what they were doing with the company, had to move on from there. They didn't have the same job opportunities that they had with Enron. So what they had to do was, a lot of them went back and got more educated, and then a lot of them actually went back and did what the American dream is and start your own business and be an entrepreneur. A great example of that is Eric Eden. Eric Eden had developed a brand new state-of-the-art underground sprinkler system, in which he created that business in Houston, Texas. He made millions, and he's a great example of a success story from what Enron had. Because if he continued to work what he was doing with Enron, which was actually computer drafting, would never have developed this business and become a millionaire. A lot of other people also started their own businesses. A lot of people got into real estate.
Of the Enron and Arthur Anderson scandal.
In the months preceding the end of Enron, it considered one of the top and largest tech companies in the United States. They employed over 20,000 individuals, which lost much more than just a job, along with investors and individuals who no longer worked at Enron was not safe, as many of them who retired from the company held their retirement savings on Enron stock, which became worthless. The collapse wiped out thousands of jobs, more than 60 billion in market value, and more than 2 billion in pension plans. Also, they had 144 senior managers who got paid $744 million in the year before the company collapsed. Is there anything you two like to add to this discussion?
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
We also saw that there was asymmetric information in this case.
Enron as a company was feeding misleading information to the stockholders and the employees.
They were all clueless to what was really happening with their money. And this scandal was one for the books.
To the scandal, there has been positive and negative impacts. We have seen beneficial outcomes, for example, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. This act was created drastic rules for grand companies as of 2002.
The negative outcomes include the loss of over 20,000 employees, the loss of their retirement funds, and because of the company's ruined reputation of their employees, it was very hard to find jobs after.
Thank you for watching our segment on the Enron and Arthur Anderson scandal. This is the 11 o'clock news team. GDP.
Yes, the gross the gross domestic product, which is a GDP,